Timeline and soul convergence. But first, totalitarian reign and tyrannical fowls gaslighting the spell of many ages. The sovereign beings of the great planet Terra watch in a haze of confusion while media misleads the spell-minded minds of the masses to potential slaughter. The sovereign rights of the slave class stripped away by the rulers of your minds without question, or rather perceived as being stripped away. There is no real power in government, which really means to rule your mind. That's part of the grand illusion. When people are divided, they are weak and scared. The tyranny will end when the people decide it does. The politicians want it to continue indefinitely, so the wall at the few strong will completely fall. Big tech, big government, and big pharma as a powerhouse hiding behind a currency system meant to enslave the races. But they can be tamed and sovereignty restored. Just as the darkness increases, as so does the light. It is the polarity of life and spirit, as above, so below. It is an amazing time indeed, a time of great opportunity, redemption, and liberation. All beings and all life forms in this great galaxy are experiencing the waveform of fuller density. Some will resist with great immensity, others will hesitantly, and the remaining will embrace as the intensity of the great frequency draws closer. We are now going through what can be called the timeline convergence as well as a soul convergence. What we have been taught to identify with is part of the spell to weld a society of division, and in linear terms this would be hundreds of thousands of years. The spell says that it is better for the other to suffer than to be the one bearing the suffering. The spell says it's okay to have more than others, but to secretly object those who have more than you. The spell dictates its reign through the crisis of identity and fear. We are not genetically coded to operate within the fathoms of identity and fear, but rather to observe them with great curiosity and amazement. The world we live in is a created generic matrix of division which creates a continuous state of misinformed legislature through a manufactured identity. Inside the spell we have inclinations to hide, lie, pretend, and betray, as so it fits a particular agenda. The spell justifies these actions as acceptable and normal. Compassionate people feel guilt when breaking natural law because they know in the heart it's against their real natural tendency to listen to soul and follow natural law, which we are intrinsically and inescapably connected to. Sociopaths have completely broken their soul contract with their own being and God's will, which allows them a false sense of liberty from natural law. Soul convergence is our natural spirit form. In this realm, we are both many as one and one as one all at once. What we call lies and betrayal does not exist in this realm. The realm of the living human embodiment created karma as a result of abandoning our natural state. Suffering on earth is the result of hiding our natural state to ourselves and others. Suffering occurs because natural law states we are inescapably one. We cannot hide from ourselves, therefore we cannot hide from others. Attempts to do so are part of the fear spell and denies the natural law of eternal endowment and right to exist, which is impossible not to exist. This is God's will. Take a long, deep breath and feel the entire quantum involvement of your being as an expression of God. The quality is there, infinitely. The quantity is how consciousness evolves and actualizes the awareness of our infinite and intimate relationship with Source, God. One can live in the flesh and also reside in the natural realm of wholeness. Timeline convergence deals with the external matrix and how we internally perceive this reality. Truth of our past unveils its story, and our true origins begin to surface with greater velocity as all 3D timelines will merge to a small point, the axiom, the center of the Mobius strip. People attuned to this waveform of electromagnetic pulses and subquantum photonic frequency will feel the distant past is not so distant at all, like it was just a little bit ago. Memories will emerge from timelines that we were taught were ancient times, but they will seem like now times. This amazing point is revealing all traumas of our conscious journey and likewise showering the gift of their everlasting light to heal all timeline traumas at one single point. The cloak of misperception and our blinded devotion to the god Chronos is weakening and almost completely disabled. The infinite rays of Source and its unbridled warmth of love is penetrating Chronos and its spell. This is the multi-dimensional, multi-density convergence that will move us to the next plane of awareness and reality. We are at the beginning of a whole new perspective, one that fully encompasses, embraces, and has full knowledge of a multilateral view of time. In this way, we begin to see things for the very moment in which they occur, fully and wholly. The multilateral time perspective then becomes a more abstract tool for use of record. But then this will pass, as the multilateral time will then be honored as another stepping stone to the infinitely multifaceted, ever-present moment, the only thing that truly exists. The greatest in quantum actualization comes from simply experiencing the here and now. All that is in this awe-filled and miraculous universe will always project and manifest the great polarities with endless curiosity to explore the infinite densities with and through Source God.